Let's go to some stock picks. We actually had a question around Discovery. They had a bit of an update today. Grant, that is your pick. It had a good day in the market as well.
Yeah, I like it. We have liked it. The question came out in their last set of results was what's happening with their new business margin?
Yeah.
Are they losing some volume in some of the core businesses in SA in the healthcare and life space? Today they put out they updated the market and it allayed a lot of those fears, talking about recovery in that margin and around new business. And so I think that's put that concern aside. And outside of that, you've got this core growth story that's building out. The bank is starting to turn profitable. They don't need to pump so much capital into that. And you've got some of their global businesses that are also, growing at a healthy clip. UK is doing very well. So I think you've got a stable core business, traditional core business, plus a number of growth drivers that have been built that are now starting to hit their straps in the rest of the business. So I think you're going to get mid-teens to upper teens growth in the next 2-3 years in earnings. And you're paying, on a forward earnings basis, you're paying like 12.5 times, 13 times next year's earnings. At that rate, I think it's pretty attractive. So that's my pick of the
nice numbers. Jared, you're going with Sappi, which with the Monday update earlier in the week, Sappi got absolutely slammed, and you're saying opportunity here.
Yeah, I think if you look at Sappi, it is a very cyclical kind of equity and very cyclical kind of business. And if we look at it on normalized earnings power, we think the equity is trading very cheaply. It's probably only ever been cheaper during COVID when it was going through a period of balance sheet distress. And we think, yes, it probably does deserve to be cheap at this point in the cycle, given some of the cyclical headwinds it is facing across the segments along pricing and volumes. But having said that, post the Monday update, we think Sappi did trade in sympathy with Monday, but more a case of if one had to think that the free cash flow generation wasn't necessarily going to be there, then maybe Sappi was trading with a bit of balance sheet distress. But to us, we think that those fears are overblown. We don't think that there's a balance sheet or a liquidity risk that is imminent in the business. We think management are viewing the balance sheet and the liquidity issues as something that's at the top of their agenda.
Yeah.
And we do expect them to resolve that in the short term and therefore see a bounce in the equity.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't noticed it. It had a strong day yesterday after, as I said, a bit of a bloodbath and sort of sympathy with Mondi. But that's all for Stockwatch today. Thanks to our guests, Jared Hoover, All Weather Capital, Grant Nader, Benguela Global Fund Managers. Up next, the close. Stay tuned.
Stockwatch is brought to you by Merchant West. Where others stop, we push further. Because we believe business as usual doesn't lead anywhere new. Go beyond with Merchant West. Finance, invest, insure.